গীতা পড়ছে, গীতা পড়ছে এখন।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा।
ব্যাগে ব্যাগে কোন ব্যাগে? আপনি নিয়ে নিয়েছেন তো? হ্যাঁ, আর জামাগুলো নিয়েছেন তো? জামাগুলো নিয়ে, হ্যাঁ আপনার জন্য নিয়ে এসেছি। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, কোথায়? ওটার ভেতরে। আপনি আমার গাড়িতে রেখে দিন না প্লিজ।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा।
হ্যাঁ
जय जय गौर भक्त
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त
श्री चैतन्य
ওরা
चरितामृत
সিঙ্গারা কোথেকে পেলো?
श्रील कृष्ण
সিঙ্গারা
दास
কোথেকে পেলো?
कविराज गोस्वामी की जय।
কোথায় সে?
प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Caitanya Caritamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 17, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in his youth. So we were reading the other day about the Nagar Sankirtan. So Chand Kazi had stopped. Chand Kazi had once when he
Mataji, can you mute Nilambari Mataji? She probably doesn't realize she's on.
I did.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me just open it first.
What happened, Mataji?
No, you were unmute, so we could hear you.
No.
Okay. So Mahaprabhu had instructed all the people of Navadvip to chant Hare Krishna, Panchatattva mantra and Hari Haraya Nama Krishna. So everyone was chanting and they were also playing musical instruments, and the only sounds that you could hear in the town were Hari, Hari. So when the Muslims heard this, they went and complained to Chand Kazi. So we also understood Chand Kazi, he is actually the magistrate, and then there is a landlord, right, who actually collects taxes, and above him is the Kazi, and above both of them is the governor, right? There's a governor above them, or there's a king. So the Muslims went and complained to Chand Kazi that these Hindus, they're performing kirtan. So Chandkaji went to, actually he went to Srivas Thakur's home where kirtan was going on, and he broke the mridanga. And he said, this time I'm just leaving at this. But in future, if I ever see you chanting, I will confiscate all your property, and I will also convert you into Muslims by sprinkling their water. And also he asked them, on whose uh, power are you so fearlessly practicing this Hindu dharma again? So from this, Srila Prabhupada told us that before Chand Kazi, and there were other Muslim rulers who had um, oppressed the or suppressed the Hindus from practicing their religious principles. So out of fear of the Muslims, they could not openly practice their dharma. So now all of a sudden freely they are doing kirtan. That means certainly there is some support. On whose strength are you practicing? And then he you know he said that nobody should ever, he should not hear the chanting of kirtan again, ever again. And if I see anyone again doing kirtan, then I will chastise that person. I will take away all his property, and I will also convert him into a Muslim. So we had a discussion on this the other day about conversion and all that. So now next, 129. Actually, we'll just look at Srila Prabhupada's purport quickly. Yeah. So it was an easy affair back then, converting a Hindu to Muslim. Simply you sprinkle some water, a Muslim sprinkles water, and then the Hindu is considered to be converted. And even the Hindu priests would not accept them as Hindus anymore, and not having anywhere else to go, uh, in a helpless state, they would just take to the Muslim religion. It was so easy to convert someone to Islam. And then Prabhupada said other situations where cow's flesh was forcibly pushed into the mouth of Hindus, and then they were said to have been converted into Muslims. In this way, many, many people have been converted. And another reason Prabhupada said was during the rule of the Emperor Aurangzeb, he would tax the Hindus heavily, whereas the Muslims didn't have any tax. So those who are poor Hindus who couldn't pay that tax, they would convert to Islam to avoid paying that tax. So in this way, the Muslims that are in India, Srila Prabhupada said, they didn't come from anywhere else. They were the Hindus that were converted to Muslims. Okay, so now next, 129. So Chandkaji threatened everyone that nobody should do kirtan. Eta boli kaji gela nagariya loka prabhu sthane nivedila paya bada shoka. Achintadev Prabhu. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Translation. After saying this, the Qazi returned home, and the devotees, greatly shocked that they were forbidden to chant Hare Krishna, submitted to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you, Master.
Yeah, so where else will they go? So they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they said that this is what happened, right? Actually, they even said that, anyway, maybe it will come here. Yeah, so they were shocked by what happened. After saying this, Kazi went back, and they were all left in a shock. They couldn't do kirtan. What will they do now? So they submitted their grief to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu आज्ञा दिला जहाँ करहो कीर्तन मुई संहारी मो आजी सकल यवन. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya ordered, go perform some kirtana. Today I shall kill all the Muslims.
So actually what happened was, all the devotees, the people, the townspeople who had now become devotees, they were doing kirtan. They became so sad, they couldn't give up chanting, but at the same time they could not chant, because if they chanted, then the king would come, or the Qazi would come and, chastise them. And they could do so many other things actually. They would take away the women, and many things they could do. So they were afraid. So they told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will actually leave Navadvip. We'll go somewhere else where we can peacefully do our kirtan. So that was their way out. That was their solution. That was their decision. Because in Navadvip we are not allowed to do kirtan, we'll go to some other place. We'll move from here, and then we will do kirtan there. Then Mahaprabhu got angry and he said, all of you, you do Sankirtan fearlessly. I will see what that Kazi will do. Like that. So Lord Chaitanya ordered, go perform Sankirtan. Today I shall kill all the Muslims. Right? So Mataji, Aditi Lata
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, this sounds so nice, of so much like surrendering fully to Krishna, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Gandhi is known for having started the movement of non-violent civil disobedience in India. But after 500 years before him, but about 500 years before him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his movement of non-violent civil disobedience to the order of Chand Kazi. It is not necessary to commit violence to stop the opposition from hindering a movement, for one can kill their demoniac behavior with reason and argument. Following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever there are obstacles, the Hare Krishna movement should kill the opposition with reason and argument, and thus stop their demoniac behavior. If we become violent in every case, it would be difficult for us to manage our affairs. We should therefore follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who disobeyed the order of Chand Kazi, but subdued him with reason and argument. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you. So it does not mean that you should just follow whatever, the government is ordering you to do, even if it is against dharma, or it is against, uh, the yuga dharma. So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teach? He disobeyed Chand Kazi's order, but at the same time he was not violent. Like generally what do people do? If they don't agree with a new law or something, immediately they start vandalism, they start breaking windows, destroying vehicles, isn't it? Create some, they take to violence to get what they want done. But Srila Prabhupada is saying we should follow in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was a disobedience, civil disobedience movement, but it was non-violent civil disobedience movement. Of course, uh, the devotees in ecstasy, we will see later on, they, but here we don't see that actually. That we see when we read in Chaitanya Bhagavat. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's no mention of, any violence or anything here. But in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur tells that how they started uprooting, all the plants and things like that. Yeah. But finally, how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquer the heart of Chand Kazi? It was not by violence. He actually had a dialogue with Chand Kazi. So by reason and by argument, that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. Following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever the devotees face an opposition, when the Hare Krishna movement faces an opposition, then one should kill the opposition not with violence but with reason and argument. So for us to do that, first, so therefore Uttama Adhikari is one who is able to, you know, he can convince others on the basis of Shastra. Others means even big stalwart, philosophers. He can, by reason and by argument, he can defeat the other person based on Shastra. He can do that. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example. One should kill the opposition with reason and argument and thus stop their demoniac behavior. But of course, so what is Srila Prabhupada saying? If we became violent in every case, right? Of course, Krishna told Arjun to be violent. So that is also required at times. It depends on what your role is. Therefore, we need all classes. We need Brahmanas, we need Kshatriyas. So as Brahmanas, Brahmanas don't take up weapons. But we should also have a class of devotees who are Kshatriyas who are there for giving protection. We see sometimes the temples are attacked, the deities are destroyed, attacked, isn't it? So in that case, what do we do? Where reason and argument don't work. Krishna only set an example, isn't it? First they tried before the battle of Kurukshetra. They tried every way possible to solve the problem with reason and argument. But when reason didn't work at all, then what to do? Then that was the last resort. Violence was the last resort. But if it can be solved with reason, with argument, with a dialogue, that's the best. But if that cannot be solved, then violence is the last option. But even that violence, the Brahmins don't take up weapons in their hands, it's the Kshatriyas, right? So a class of devotees must be trained in that also for protection, of devotees. Yes, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji's example I just thought of giving for running this Russia and all those. When the devotees were not allowed to do Sankirtan, they protested, they were put in jail.
Right.
That's a
Yes.
non-violent.
Yeah. Yeah. And they
although
were
the-
active.
Although the people who go through, it's like terrible for them. I mean, if I imagine myself in that situation, oh my God, Krishna only gives them the tolerance, probably.
That is surrender, Mataji. Yeah, that's why. That is those who are surrendered, then they just take. That's why it's a big term, right? Surrender. It's a big term. But yes, yesterday in the temple, uh, after class, Dronacharya Prabhu was saying, uh, it seems like it's impossible for us to come to that stage of a pure devotee. That means 24/7 remembering Krishna. So it seems like that. But we see there are examples of devotees who have taken all risks. So it's not that, yes, it is very rare, but it's not that we didn't or we don't have such devotees. Even in our movement, there are such devotees. So, and we should aspire for that, and that will please. Otherwise, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, Rupa Goswami is even giving that definition if it is not possible? We should aspire for that. We should work for that. But yes, it's a great achievement if somebody is able to be there. So you're saying how the devotees, they were persecuted for being devotees. They were all types of, they were tortured, arrested, uh, even killed.
Newborn babies died. I heard the mother delivered the baby and the baby also died.
Yeah, and they made all these sacrifices for Krishna consciousness. That's why you'll see the devotees, from Russia, especially who went through all that, they're really, very serious devotees. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, we are seeing that, yeah, we don't take to violence right away. If it's possible to solve the issue, to deal with the opposition by argument and reason, then we should do that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set example. Next. घरे गिया सब लोका करे कीर्तन काजीरा भय स्वच्छंद नहे चमकिता मन. Okay.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Translation. Returning home, all the citizens began performing Sankirtan. But because of their order of the Kaji, they were not carefree, but always full of anxiety. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So you see, Mahaprabhu, it's like now they're getting squished, right? On one side, Kazi ordered, you should not chant. And on the other hand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered, you should do Sankirtan. So they're doing Sankirtan because this is the Lord's order, but they're also very fearful. What if the Kazi hears? And Kazi was sending every day dozens of men with clubs and sticks, like, uh, you know, just to go and look if anyone is doing kirtan in town. If they found anyone, they will just beat him up. And now, on the order of Mahaprabhu, in that tense environment, they have to chant, they have to do kirtan. Can you imagine? So they're doing it, but they are not carefree. They're in great anxiety. What if the Qazi's men come? They're going to beat us up or kill us. So they were very fearful. That was their condition, although they were doing kirtan. Returning home, all the citizens began performing Sankirtan, but because of the order of the Qazi, they were not carefree, but always full of anxiety. तासा भार अंतरे भय प्रभु मने जानी कहिते लागिला लोके शीघ्र डाकी आनी. Isha.
Understanding the anxiety within the people's minds, the Lord called them together and spoke to them as follows.
So the Lord is there as Paramatma in everyone's heart. The Lord experiences, He understands what we are going through. So feeling the fear in the hearts of the devotees, the Lord called for them, right? He said, all of you come, and He had a talk with them. What did the Lord say? Nagare nagare aji korimu kirtana sandhya kale koro sabhe nagara mandana. Krishna Shish.
In the evening, I shall perform Sankirtan in each and every town. Therefore, we should all decorate the city in the evening.
Yeah, read the purport.
At that time, Navadvip was composed of 9 small cities, so the words Nagare Nagare are significant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to perform Kirtan in each of those neighboring towns. He ordered the city decorated for the function.
So Navadvip means 9 islands, nine cities, 9 islands, because there's Ganga. So 9 islands. So Nagare Nagare means in each of those cities. I will perform Kirtan, Sankirtan in each and every town. Each and every town means in the entire Navadvip, in all the islands of Navadvip. Therefore, you should all decorate the city in the evening. So when you have a procession, you decorate the road, isn't it? And you have some, at intervals, they make these arches like that. And maybe they will even have like mango decoration like that. So the Lord instructed everyone, today evening I'm going to do Sankirtan, so go and decorate the city. At that time, Navadvip was composed of 9 small cities. So the words Nagare Nagare are significant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to perform Kirtan in each of these neighboring towns. So he said, decorate the city. संध्याते द्युति द्युति सबे ज्वाला घरे घरे देखा कोना काजियासी मोरे माना कोरे. Madhava.
In the evening, burn torch lights in every home. This will give protection to everyone. Let us see what the kind of Kaji comes to stop our kingdom.
Yeah. So let us burn. No. Everyone should burn torches in the evening. In every home. That means you have a lamp, diya, right? In the evening, every home should have lamp. Normally also they would have in the evening. Yes. But that day, like they would have at the entrance with full water pots and nicely decorated diyas. But also each person would come to the procession with a torch in his hand. So in the evening, burn torch lights in every home. I shall give protection to everyone. You're afraid of the Kazi? Don't worry, I will protect everyone. You just come fearlessly. Let's see what kind of Kazi comes to stop our Kirtan. Don't be fearful of the Kazi, right? I'm here. I'll give protection. एतको हि संध्या काले चले गौर राय कीर्तनेर कोइल प्रभु तीना संप्रदाय. Rasapriya.
In the evening, Lord Gaurasundar went out and formed 3 parties to perform Kirtan.
Yeah. So Mahaprabhu formed 3 parties to perform Kirtan. Nilambari Mataji can read the purport. Nilambari Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. You want me to read the purport?
Yes, Mataji.
I'm reading it from my phone. It will be little slow, Mataji.
No problem. No problem.
This is a scheme for Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
This is a scheme for performing kirtan in a procession. During Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, one party was composed of 21 men, 4 people playing mridanga, 1 leading the chanting, and 16 others striking kartals. Responding to the leading chanter. If many men join the Sankirtan movement, they may follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and from different parties according to the time and the number of men available.
Really.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Krishna.
So here it is said 3 parties, right? So yeah. So one before him, he is there and behind, and it is
Mataji, you
also
are on
said.
mute.
No, I'm not. Am I on mute?
No, we can hear.
Okay. Yeah. So 7 parties. Well, I think 7 parties also. So he would have different parties. The point is, he would have different kirtan parties, and each kirtan party would have 21 men. One party. Of course, there will be many others following and singing, but these were the appointed people in that group, 21. So they would be like that's the Kirtan party, Mridanga players, Kartal players, lead singer, lead dancer, like that, 21 people. And so many Mridangas and so many Kartas in each party. Like this, they would have several parties in the procession. So 4 people are playing Mridangas, 1 singer, lead singer, and 16 Kartal players. How many? 21. And if if many men join the Sankirtan movement, they may follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and form different parties according to the time and the number of men available. So it's not set that there should be only 3. Depending on how many people you have, you can divide. Now we have Rath Yatra. We've seen in New York and in Atlantic City. Atlantic City Rath Yatra was a bit smaller. New York was bigger. So there you have different kirtan parties, isn't it? So at different places there's different kirtan parties. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan was consisting of millions of people. So it was on a much larger scale. But the idea is there. When you have more men, you can have different kirtan parties like that. Mm. Yeah. So you would have 21 men. So I'm just trying to count if we have 21. 4 mridanga players, 1 leading the chanting, and 16 with kartals responding to the leading chanter. Yeah, so the remaining 3 are not exactly mentioned here, but you also have a lead dancer like that. Okay. So maybe we can stop here today. We didn't cover a whole lot, but it's all also time. So I'm going to stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very much.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.